4020 needs a new bottom tire.
There's a little, I can see a little bit of a hole in that spot.
Yeah, that'd be the reason we're out of gas. Okay, no putting air in that tire. Yeah, I should put gas in his generator. Anywho, welcome back to the good old Southern IA. It is plot day today. So Andrew and I are gonna get ready to go to pick the plot. You guys will see a little bit of it in this video, but in the most of it, I'll make a special video about harvesting this plot and put it out later this week. And so it's about 9 o'clock now, and the guys are supposed to show up around 10 o'clock to take out this plot. Andrew and I are actually gonna use Jimmy's grain cart, thanks Jimmy, to get the monitor calibrated so we can harvest the plot with the nag leader monitor. A lot easier, a lot quicker, a lot simpler. Hey, come on. Yep. And all we have to do this is harvest a load or two and scale it. Enter the correction, and it's calibrated. Is the cart zeroed out, as in is the scale zeroed out?
Confirmed.
I just barely make it over that gal right there.
10,640 pounds.
10,640. Then as soon as we get that done, we're gonna wash these windows because it's just not acceptable when company's coming. Well, we're calibrated up. We're within 0.6% air. That's good. The company men have showed up. I think I got, yeah, they're right at an acre apiece. So. Have you ever been in a combine harvesting 300 bushel barn?
I have a couple times.
What's that like?
It's pretty amazing.
Does the combine just sit there and grr?
Yeah, you don't get to drive very fast at 300 bushel corn.
So the corn plot is harvested. Brandon took off. He was headed down the road. That means that we're done with corn probably for the day, and we'll probably maybe be going after beans if they're dry. Oh, beans, vegetable free. Parking brake. Combine made it. My radishes and turnips and stuff on the terrace project, they're growing along with the grass that I seeded on the terrace. The head's coming down the road. You think they'll go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good. You combining beans, bud? Huh? You want some combine time? Is that what you're chirping about? That'd be a neat trick if I could go bang your dad, but it's not such a neat trick when I gotta pick you up for the combine. You know that? You get heavy. Okay. We had a sensor go off. That chain is definitely not on there. Hey, can you come give us a ride, or me a ride? You gonna be in the picture this 1, 2, 3. Oh, so here appears to be the issue is that this little tensioner pulley poly piece has basically given up. It jumped the chain off the sprocket, so we got to pull this poly piece off. I got one ordered already. It's at John Deere. I can go get it and get it on there, and we'll see if we go running tonight. YouTuber, so I can get down. Oh, sorry.
Hate to leave you hanging.
The AH2000 gate opener. Okay, welcome back. Tuesday morning. We got the part that we need to fix the combine here. As soon as we get done with this, we're going to move the corn combine up to the next cornfield that we are going to be harvesting into maybe a little bit later today. We're actually on my farm right now. We're going to harvest the soybeans here, which includes the plot that I'll go over with you guys. It's okay. I paid my health insurance. If you guys haven't yet and you've made it this far in the video, don't forget, hit that thumbs up button for us.
Whoa! Come back. Whoa! Forward just a little bit. Okay. Got it.
So plans changed just slightly while we were eating lunch. Dad's actually on his way back, or pretty darn close to being back from Cargill. So I'm gonna go get the combine down the road so we can get him into some corn. He's gonna chew on some corn while we work on beans. As in like by the house and stuff, so they can't even get into where I'm going.
Bring it here. Bring it here.
Good job. Oh, 11:30, go eat lunch and then come back and pick beans in 35 or 40 minutes. Turned into pick a load of corn, and now it's 1 o'clock. Hopefully they're dry.
Should be.
So life in the combine lane continues forward. A few videos ago, you knew that this thing broke down. Well, we got it back, and now it's back in use. But here took this part apart and replaced a whole bunch of parts. This here slippy clutch deal. Well, as it pinches in, it speeds up the head, which then speeds up the pump and speeds up my belts and speeds up everything, makes my head run better. Not this one, that one. And now, tell this belt is loose. So we're going, and it must have something leaking by because it keeps slowing down. Like if I increase it 100 RPMs, I'll lose that 100 RPMs in like less than 10 minutes. So, and the only way to increase it again is take the head off, and yeah, so it's not working. So we're gonna just increase it, try and get this belt tight, and hopefully maybe that will let it run, and I'll just have to harvest slower until I figure out what else is going on. signs and I'll finish this back knob here. Huh? So we're in the bean plot now, which the fun part about the bean plot, and if you want to know more about the bean plot, I'll link a video up there. It'll tell you more about the bean plot. But what I want to really see is the 30-inch versus the 15-inch row, and Saltro versus Ilevo. That's kind of really what I want to see. And I've already harvested some 30 inches, and let me tell you what, when you're not used to doing that, it's really odd.
You might be saying to yourself, Andrew, are you guys stupid? If you lost it, why is Ben dumping beans on the red cart and then you're dumping them on the blue cart? Like, isn't that an extra step? Isn't that kind of dumb? Normally, you would be right. Let me show you why. That little gadget right there. We're weighing every test strip on these soybeans. So we have a highly accurate, indisputable, totally classified reading. So we know what the yield is exactly. So that's the reason for the extra shuffle. Off the combine, on the red cart, weigh them on the red cart, onto the blue cart, onto the semi truck. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Would you look at that? 30-inch row beans. That's something that I don't get to do every day. Got it. Well, guys, we are back into the combine here tonight. We just got done taking care of a little bit of a mishap. Here's a little clip. But don't worry, you guys will see that here in a couple of videos, so you better hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell so you don't miss it. But I think it's time to go over the plot. So my soybean plot had champion seed soybeans in there, obviously. They were Extend soybeans, and it only had 2 numbers, so it really wasn't a showcase of the hybrids, like the corn plot was. This was more of a, please let me speak. This plot was more of a practice plot, as in testing of 15-inch rows versus 30-inch rows. It also tested a population, so it was a population plot, along with seed treatments where I tested Ilevo versus Saltro, which is a sudden death treatment that you can put onto your soybeans. That is actually kind of pricey. So the plot had some interesting results. Basically, in between the 3.2s and the 3.5s, there was not much of a yield difference. The 3.2s that were in the 30-inch rows, I do believe won the plot, because I think the 15-inch rows, they had a little bit of a compaction issue. They won the plot at 57 bushels to the acre, and we'll come back to that and talk about it here in a second. In terms of the Saltro versus the Ilevo looked like it performed a little bit better. All these results will be listed in the description below, or you can click on the link and go to the Facebook page and you can read those there. I might do a little more in-depth talk about those. So the big takeaways from my plot, I'm gonna say, is that it looks like you can plant some lower populations and have the yield still hang in there. And for next year, I don't see any reason to be going to Saltro versus Ilevo unless I see some other data from other people that makes my plot an outlier. Now, in comparison to the entire field, that field, and that's why I kind of waited until this point to talk with you guys about it, we have scaled all of those beans, and my farm averaged 49 bushels to the acre this year. And that's where we're going to have a real world talk with you guys. I know that there is a lot of guys out there that are younger, want to become farmer people, which is great. And I said that I'd be an advocate or an advocate for younger farmers and what we do. But as part of the channel, I guess I can't really just show the cool, fun aspects of farming and without showing you guys or talking about the real life, like financial risks that you take on when you do farm. So the average yield of this farm, and I'm just talking about my farm here that I've purchased, it grew 49 bushel beans this year. The first year that I farmed this farm, it grew 74 bushel beans, and then the plot across the road, yes, last year its highest yielding soybeans were 76 in the plot number. Now this is significant because to become a farmer, you got to have land to farm, and you can't really just go out and buy ground as a young guy. Is that you got to develop relationships, and then you rent ground. But as you rent the ground, you know, you got to have figures in your mind about like your expenses. Obviously you got to know your numbers, your expenses, what kind of yield you think you might grow, and then your insurance levels. And this is where somebody's going to talk about insurance, and we'll talk about that here shortly. And the last thing I want you guys to do is be bright-eyed that, hey, every year is going to be a good year, because there are not good years. This year is not a good year. It's like 49 bushel soybeans on this field, and this was my best yielding field of all my soybeans that I've grown and harvested to date. My corn, it's having a hard time making 150 bushels on field averages. Some fields are having a hard time making 130 bushels field averages. Corn's not good. So if you go and you think, hey, I'm gonna go get a piece of ground and I'm gonna rent it, and then I'm gonna grow a great crop on it, and that's how I'm gonna make money, because you do farm to make money, you gotta have a realization that it might not happen. For instance, the figures in the difference in between the year that I grew 70 some odd bushel beans and this year, in just on the 50 acres that I row crop on this farm, is that it basically turned out at $9 beans. And I know bean prices are higher now, and they're maybe a little lower next year, but I can tell you that as a younger farmer and you don't have any storage, you might want to do some forward contracting against your insurance levels. And this might sound complicated, because it is complicated. I have to do that, and needless to say, I would take $9 on the beans that I've sold, because I sold beans under that. For the most part, most years, my marketing plan is really pretty solid, and I can outperform the fall price and do a good job. This year, I was like a kid trying to hit a T-ball. So the difference in yield at $9 a bushel this year and in between last year's when I went to grow is $243. This farm per acre did $243 less revenue than it did in previous years. And on that full 50 acres, that's $12,150 that this farm did in less income. That's a real aspect. My bills didn't change, nothing else changed. It just did $12,150 in less revenue. So if someone says, well, you got crop insurance, well, here's the aspect of being a younger farmer, is as you take it on, yeah, you can take some of your dad's APH if your dad happened to have an APH that you can take on, or mom, or any, you know, parents, you can take some of their APH supposedly, but you got to take the county T yield for 10 years of your history. And in Appanoose County, the county T yields 42 bushels. So my insurance level is around 36. Well, on corn, it's a little over 100 bushels the acre, and all that's really going to do when you're a young farmer is insure you to the level that it actually about costs you to grow the crop. So when you go out there and you decide, hey, I'm going to rent a piece of ground, you got to have in your mind is that if you have a crop failure or have a bad year like this year, for the most part, basically whatever you pay in cash rent or whatever I pay in cash rent is what I am exposing myself to as a potential loss. So you go rent a piece of ground for $175 an acre. Durate choke comes through and wipes out your entire crop and it gets zeroed out. You lost $175 an acre. You farm 100 acres, you lost $17,500 an acre in that year. You know, that's like student debt for some people, except for at the end of it, they're supposed to walk away with degrees, and you just walk away with that. But don't get me wrong, I still love what I do. It's like I work hard at trying to learn things, be the best farmer that I can be, and that doesn't mean just driving tractors. It's more on the managerial side, making good decisions and moving forward with life. But there's still the downside to farming, and that's one of them. Can we go home now? But I also hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And like always, we'll see you guys in the next time down here in the Southern IA.